Okay, so can you hear me? Let me know if you can. So I'm back for the 30-day life series. And today we're going to talk about expansion, because a lot of people, a lot of high achievers, high performers, visionaries, it's all about expansion, expansion, expansion. And there's a total disregard of the process of expansion, right? And oftentimes people do this from bypassing, from just doing, being a human doer instead of a human being. And there's a reason why you're not really sure of yourself. There's a lot of you're lacking self-trust, because the trust is tied to doing instead of being, right? Being is the standard. Doing is maintaining the standard, right? So there's a lot of incongruence that has been communicated in this industry, and I felt that it was imperative I speak on this, because it's creating a lot of dis-ease in the beingness of people who should be in the forefront, right? Bridging new earth into old earth, right? Bridging all these cracks that we have been experiencing through old earth into new earth, which is what I'm very passionate about. This is what I align my work with. We need more leaders who are coherent. We need more leaders who trust their lack of self-trust. Because hey, we're not abandoning our human. Our human doesn't have consistent access to self-trust. And that's the whole point. The whole point is allowing your human being, even in that conditioning, even in them facing the limitation, right? The limitation of whatever happened in your story, the story that you're carrying behind you and bringing it into your vision, not allowing that story to override your intuition. So why do we still do it, right? I mean, I lead high achievers. I work with high performers, and I still face a lot of lack of clarity under pressure. It happens as part of my human being, but it's how I respond to it that changes the game, right? It's how I navigate that emotional state in that moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I know that I acted from below my standard and I still did it, right? It's how you navigate your relationship with your human being, right? How you navigate that and finding the root story behind why you're actually doing that. Why are you doing that? Because in the why, and finding the why, you actually create a roadmap that doesn't allow you to reject those parts that actually need deeper support. You actually create a roadmap that deeply supports these parts that are not being met, right? That are not being made. So it's about actually allowing those moments that contradict what you have already decided to help you refine the way you pivot, right? So when you're finding yourself like, oh my gosh, like I know my intuition is telling me this, and I'm doing that, that's not a moment where you want to shame yourself, because in shaming yourself, that's where you're looping yourself. When you're judging yourself, that's where you're looping yourself, right? So those moments, we're not judging the judging, we're not shaming the shaming, right? It becomes a loop, right? We're cutting it right there, like, oh yeah, I'm shaming myself, I'm judging myself. Excuse me, right? You catch yourself, but how do you pivot? How do you interact with that part of you in real time, right? So being powerful has nothing to do with being perfect and trusting yourself 24/7. It's about how you respond to those moments, right? And in that, when you're experiencing that contraction, right? When you're experiencing contradiction in your body, when you're experiencing like that bracing, where you're like, your whole system is like shutting down, like, no, this is not a good choice, but you're forcing yourself because all these leaders, people you're putting on a pedestal, are telling you like, hey, you gotta push yourself, you gotta push through it, you gotta face your fears, right? But your system is like, and to the point where you're like, your body is frozen, right? And you're just going through it, and you're not fully here, you're not safe in your body, right? This is where you're abandoning yourself. You're not meant to expand by forcing your way. You're meant to expand with your body, with your human, right? And this is where, as self-trust, you listen to your body, and even if your body goes against what the whole collective is moving through towards, and your body is telling you like, and that how you respond to that and where you go from that is what determines whether you are in alignment with your vision or not, whether you're in alignment with your power or not, right? Alignment is always happening in the now. It's not projected into the future. The projecting into the future is where we often get stuck in those mental loops where we're creating stories that haven't even happened, right? We're living in this future faking and creating dis-ease as our natural state because we're always anticipating the next stress point. We're anticipating the next conversation, right? So you want to break those anticipatory projections into the future and actually come within yourself and really pay attention, like, okay, what emotional state is triggering this, right? What emotional state is keeping me in this loop that is downgrading my sense of being, right? And once you're aware of this emotional state, that's where the magic happens, because it's what you do with that information, right? So if you're already in the campfire where I'm recording this live from, you already know what to do. And if you're on YouTube, please look at the description box in my bio, where you'll find more information on how we can take this information and use it as leverage. Otherwise, see you on the other side.